Good afternoon, the algebra data analysis and probability class. We're going to be looking at graphing today. So in graphing simple linear equations, there are going to be three different ways I'm going to show you how to do that. If you're given an equation that looks like y equal 2/3 x plus 4. Then what I want you to do is there's three ways. I want you to think of making a table of data. The second way, second method, is you can do two quick graphs.
No, partners of two. Two's not good of the whole class.
One is using the slope-intercept.
She's saying you're high, Frankie. You don't get it. You know what?
And one is using the cover up and divide, I call it. So we're going to talk about the table of data first. What you can do with any function, whether it's linear, which is what we're looking at today, or any of the others we're going to talk about in your math history. You can find an XY table giving values for x, plugging those into the function, and seeing what that tells you y is. So if this is the function we're looking at, we can say, hey, what if x is 0? If I plug 0 in, then I can just write that 0 in for the function wherever I see x, and 0 times this number is 0, and 0 plus 4 is 4, and that's what y is when x is 0. Or I can pick another number. I can pick a number like 3. And if I plug 3 in here for x, wherever you see it, then I just do the arithmetic there. Again, I've got to multiply and divide first before I add. So 3 divided by 3 is 1. 1 times 2 is 2. And 2 plus 4 is 6. So that's what y is when x is 3. I can say, well, let's let x, and all I really need is 2 points if it's a straight line. And how do I know if it's a straight line or not? Looking at the algebra. Here's how. If the exponent on the y is 1, and the exponent on the x is 1, if those two things are true, the exponent is 1 and 1, then you know it's going to be linear, one-dimensional. One-dimensional, linear. If x is, so all we really need is 2 points. But if you want to get a third point, just to make sure that you didn't make a mistake with these other two, if I plug -3 in here, and plug that in to do the arithmetic, again, -3 divided by 3 is -1. -1 times 2 is -2. -2 plus 4 is 2. That gives you 3 points that you can then graph on the axis. 0, 4, 3, 6, and -3, 2. Those 3 points should line right up in a line so that a ruler can draw a line through each of those 3. So that's the table of data method. You've seen it a lot of times. We're just reviewing it. That's one method of graphing. You probably won't like that method near as much as the next two methods that I show you. Because there's graphing this same function. I'm going to show you the two quick graphs. Now, if it's written like this, where y is equal to mx plus b, if the y is isolated, then here's how you can graph it quicker than the graphing calculator. You can establish your vertical and horizontal axis, and then all you really need is 2 points for a straight line. And this has an exponent of 1. This has an exponent of 1. The variables is, so you know it's going to be one-dimensional, linear. So if that's true, then all I need to do is to find 2 points. This is what we call the y-intercept. This number all by itself. Doesn't have an x on it, doesn't have a y on it, it's just a number. This is the starting place. That's where you start in any kind of left or right movement on a graph. This is everything to the left is negative, everything to the right is positive, going right and left. So this is the starting place. This y-axis, or this vertical axis. So this is where it tells you to put one of the points. So all you have to do is put one of the points at that point, on that y-intercept. Now you need another point, and this is how you find the other point. This is called the slope. This is the steepness of the line, the number in front of the x, being multiplied by the x. The top number tells you to move up or down. The bottom number tells you to move right or left. From where? From that first point you already put. So you look at the y-axis first, look at the y-intercept first, put a point there, and then move how this slope tells you to do. That's a positive 2. So what do you think? Would that be up or would that be down? Positive would be up. And so it says to move from here to go up 2. Go up 2. This bottom number is positive 3. Do you think that would be right or left? Positive, yes, you're right. Would be right. Positive direction is right. So you would go up 2 and to the right 3. Where? From this point? From this point. 1, 2, 3. Up 2 to the right 3 gives you the second of the 2 points that you need. Again, using a straight edge, you draw a line through both of those. So that's the quick graph method for the equation y equal to x, or 2/3 x plus 4. The third method is used when, I'm going to give you another example. The x and y are written on the same side. Same side of the equal sign. Y is not isolated. This is called the standard form. When x and y are written on one side and the numbers written on the other, here's another quick graph method, a third way that you're going to like a lot to graph the function. So again, you draw your vertical and horizontal axis, and you cover up and divide is what we call it. If I cover up that 3x, that leaves a positive 2y. Cover up and divide. If I divide by 2, that tells me that y is equal to 6. Right? If I divide that by 2, I get y. If I divide that by 2, I get 6. That tells me y is 6. What this is telling you is the y-intercept of this line, where it crosses the y-axis. So that's telling you to put a point on the y-axis at 6. If I cover up the y, and now I've got something saying 3x is 12. 3x is 12. What I do there is divide, cover up and divide. If I divide by 3, which that's what I have to do to get x myself, this would be x, and dividing that by 3 I get 4. That's telling me to put a dot where? On the x-axis. Where on the x-axis? At 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Those are your 2 dots. How many do you need for a linear? Is this linear? What's the exponent on x? What's the exponent on y? One-dimensional? That tells you all you have to do is 2 points. Getting those 2 points this quick way, I can draw a straight line through that. Those are 3 methods of graphing linear equations. Thanks for being here today. We are the ASC Academy.